Great.
It's on.
Thank you. So I'm Dr. Susan Thompson. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I'm going to talk about the power of the heart. So I want to start with a quote, and I think most folks, you got the quote. So the quote is about authenticity. It's a daily practice. Choosing authenticity means cultivating courage, which is of the heart. To be emotionally honest, to set boundaries, to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, exercising the compassion, which is also of the heart, that comes from knowing that we're all made of strength and struggle, and connected to each other through a loving and resilient human spirit. Nurturing the connection and sense of belonging, which is also of the heart, that can only happen when we let go of what we're supposed to be and embrace who we are. Authenticity demands wholehearted living and loving, even when it's hard, even when we're wrestling with the shame and fear of not being good enough, and especially when the joy is so intense that we're afraid to let ourselves feel it. All of that is of the heart. Mindfully practicing authenticity during our most soul-searching struggles is how we invite grace, joy, and gratitude into our lives. So I want to talk today about the power of the heart. The heart has so much more juice behind it than we think it does. It actually has a whole lot more than our brains. So there's some research that shows that our brains have the ability to sort of project outside of our bodies. And how do you know that? You know how you know that? From from MRIs and from any kind of magnetic measurement that you might go to a doctor for. Right? You've probably seen on any kind of video those caps that have electrodes in them. Those electrodes are picking up the electromagnetic pulses of the brain. Well, there's some research that says that the heart's power goes even further than the brain's power does. So we think we're powered by the brain. We're not really. We're really powered by the heart. So can you guess maybe how far out the brain's electromagnetics go versus how far out the heart's electromagnetics go? Anybody got a guess? A meter? Okay. So like that's how many inches? I have a hard time measuring. Not very. So about this far out. About that far out.
Yeah.
Okay. What this research shows is that the brain's electromagnetics only go out about 2 to 4 inches. Not very far. But the heart's electromagnetics go out about 10 feet. So being in a place of authenticity of the heart, being in courage, being in appreciation, actually has more control in our bodies. So when we're in that state of appreciation and gratitude, it actually helps to even out everything else in our body. So the heart has more control over anxiety. It has more control over fear. If you can get yourself into a place of gratitude and appreciation, no matter what, and I'm going to teach you a couple of different strategies to get you there, then you have the ability to override anxiety, to override fear, to override other emotions, to get you into a place where you can think more clearly and make better decisions. That's the power of the heart. So how about an exercise, an activity? It's really simple, it's very portable, and it has everything to do with breathing. Everybody knows how to breathe. We kind of come in with that, like we take this big gasp as we come in. And so we're just going to right now focus on breathing. So just notice breathing in and breathing out, slowing down your breath. You might even count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in focus on the area of your heart as you're breathing in and breathing out. Kind of like your heart has a nose, right? So I know it's kind of an interesting shift, but put your focus at your heart center, and breathe in as if your heart has a nose. So it's just changing your focus. And by the way, one really quick way of reducing anxiety is to focus on your breathing anyway. So if you can get your breathing to where your exhale is longer than your inhale, that engages the parasympathetic system, which is the system that calms the rest of the body. So what are you noticing as a difference as you breathe in through your heart and exhale through your heart? You may not notice very much, but that's okay. Most people start to notice a calming. And if you don't, that's okay. We're going to add one other layer to this heart breath. So right now, imagine or think about someone or something that you have great appreciation for, that you love, that you feel grateful for. And it might be a place, a particular place. It could be a person. And in my case, I always think of my dog. I love my dog. Dogs are those unconditional, positive regard kinds of things. She loves me no matter what. And all I have to do is imagine her face and her tail wagging. And it brings me joy. So any of those emotions, feeling it, not just thinking it, feeling it. So feeling it in your heart. Thinking about first a person, a place, and calling up that feeling of joy, gratitude, appreciation. Allowing it to settle into your heart and combining that now with the breathing. And allowing then that feeling of gratitude and appreciation to spread throughout your body. So through your torso, down your legs, each breath. Out your arms. Allowing it to permeate all of you. Now check in. How are you feeling? How's the rest of your body? Even if you're taking a break from class or thinking about tests or thinking about life's difficulties for just a few minutes, that installs some resiliency, and that's the power of the heart as well. So I have a couple of other activities that I wanted to share. And one of them is called Take a Seat, Make a Friend. And I have a whole list of questions. Another one is called, is actually some cards that I co-created with a friend of mine called, they're notes of gratitude. So I have actually a structure for these. And if you have a pen, can you pull out a pen? My videographer is probably not going to be able to participate in this, so go ahead and pull out a pen or pencil, something to write with.
No, it's okay. I'll just send you mine when I'm done.
Here you go.
I probably wouldn't mind doing it while I'm trying to hold the camera here.
Okay.
If I had a pen.
I'll lend you my pencil when I'm done then.
Okay.
There it is.
Alright. Oh,
It's a space age pen.
Space age. Wow.
So, the more we think about and feel feelings of gratitude and appreciation, the more resilient we become. So the power of the heart is that when you're able to harness into gratitude and appreciation, your whole body changes. And you become more resilient. You become more resilient to the degree that you fight off disease, any kind of disease, stress, and any manifestation of stress in the body. So the purpose of this card, and we'll tie up with this today, is to get you to think about sending a note to somebody. If you can actually think of somebody that you feel gratitude and appreciation toward. Okay? And by the way, this is Random Acts of Kindness Week. Have you heard of Random Acts of Kindness? And Random Acts of Kindness says that you appreciate someone or something, so you do a kind act. I'm going to come back to that in a minute once you're finished with these cards. So I'm going to give you a couple of prompts. So think about someone that you appreciate already. And I'm going to give you some sentence stems, so go ahead and write. You can write the sentence stems down, or you can just start writing. So the first one is, this is from my heart to your heart. From my heart to your heart. And from my heart to your heart, I honor your. So fill in the blank. I honor a personal quality or that you admire. The reason that you admire this particular person. So you might say, I admire your grace under fire. Or I admire that you're really dedicated. That you're willing to be flexible. Anything that you admire about someone else activates gratitude, activates those feelings. So write down what you honor and appreciate about someone else. A particular person would be helpful. Start with someone. To include on this note of this heart note is some words of encouragement. Everybody goes through a difficult time. So if you can imagine the kind of words of encouragement that this particular person might want to have if they're going through a difficult time, what would you want to say to them? Go ahead and write that down. Some words of encouragement that I have for you. We're hearing all kinds of background noise, but some words of encouragement. Good. And the last is my wish for you in this next season. So right now it's really winter. So what's your wish for them in their next season? Season can be actually the seasons of the year, or maybe it's a season of their life. So what's your wish for them in their next season of their life? So check in. How are you feeling now versus how you were feeling just a few minutes ago before you started this note? A little bit better? Different? Better? Yeah. So think about this as a strategy When you're having a really bad day, shift into expressing gratitude to someone else, and it can change your whole physiology and therefore the rest of your day. That's the power of the heart. So thanks for joining me. And I think I'm doing another presentation next month. So come back. See me again. Thanks. You turn it off.
Okay. So you're gonna